Hello, Forever Sorting with Kevin A. Hinkle, friends and family. I'm Bricksmith, and welcome to YouTube.
Are we in the upside down?
I mean, you call it what you want.
Okay.
Hello again, episode 875.
No, 30 something.
It's 30 something.
33?
Did we give last week's a number at all?
I did, because if I didn't,
They would know.
they would know. So it had to be a regular number.
Yeah, you guys got us. That was the all in introduction.
Intro only.
Yeah.
So now we don't want to hear anything about how long the intros are.
Yeah, or we'll do one twice as long.
Oh man, 2 hours of just intro.
We could do it. We like to talk.
We could do it. Do we want to do it?
Yeah. So does anybody pause your video right now and write down in the chat? And it's early because I know you guys are still watching. Does anybody know where we left off?
Yeah.
He laughs. So hey Kevin.
Hey Julian.
Look at us. Another fun-filled video full of knowledge and fun.
Did you notice
I
anything special about me?
You're beautiful.
Thank you. That's not what I was looking for.
Oh, okay.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I am not wearing a sweater.
You have arms.
I have arms. Okay, I won't lie. It's a little chilly.
Kevin, are you cold?
I'm a little, like, my fingertips are a little cold, but we have the state of Connecticut has finally realized winter's done.
In a sharp contrast, here in the deep, dirty down south, Florida, we've had a record-breaking set of days where we have hit 100 more than once. I am in my house at 68 degrees, and as you can see, the sweat is beating up on my forehead.
It's crazy. What are
Sitting
we at
here being fat?
64 degrees.
64. That's 68's the inside of my house right now. Kevin made me do it. We're talking about weather.
Sorry, but I know.
Oh, it is cooled off. Thank God. It is now 95 outside.
Everybody calm down. But yeah, I was just actually noticing it myself. Like, I'm not wearing a sweater down here.
You are not wearing a sweater.
I usually am, because it's freezing down here, and it's been for months. And my little space heater's not been used either. It's over there in the corner.
Can anybody pause the video, go back, and tell us the last time Kevin wore a T-shirt on Forever Sorting?
That would be an interesting find.
Please find that for us.
Yes. So hello.
I don't know if it ever happened.
It's happened at some point. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Forever Sorting.
Yay!
I am joined, of course, by Julian, the Grand Poobah of the Pink Bucket Nation.
There's it right there in the bucket. It's got to be true.
Bricksmith 78, and I am Kevin A. Hinkle.
A stands for alien.
Kevin Alien Hinkle. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of our show. We are going to continue the story today, but before I dive into that, real quick, here's a real intro, not super long.
Hang on. Is it Bricksig Ninja?
What?
Is it yeah, I got some action going on my phone. There's a phone shout out.
Oh, yep.
There it is.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. I don't know what he said this time.
Isn't
probably
that
awesome? Some great comments from a new watcher. So shout out to you.
I don't know.
How do you say it?
I think.
How do you say it?
Brick Ninja.
I'm down.
I want to say that's somebody from Blaze. I think
could be. By the time when you get to he's on episode 3 right now. So when you get to this episode, could you let us know where you're from?
There it is.
Who sent you?
Who sent you?
Or where'd you come from? Or how'd you find us? Or now he made a mention about Solid Brick Studios.
Okay.
But he didn't say Solid Brick Studios. He said, I watched a room tour.
Yeah.
Or I saw the AFOL
Documentary.
Documentary. Now, Solid Brick Studios, come on in, be a guest.
Come on in. There it is. There you
The
go.
water's fine.
Yep. Yep.
Sorry,
Exactly.
Sorry for stopping you. Continue, sir.
No problem. Always nice to have a new viewer. That's
I love it. Yeah.
So my name is Kevin. You guys, if you want to follow me outside of this program, you can find me on social media at Mr. Kevin Hinkle.
If you want to follow him, go to Connecticut. No, sorry.
There you go. In real life, if you want to follow me. If you'd like to follow just my artwork, you can follow at Mr. Hinkle Draws. And last but not least, I have two different services I want to call out. AFL Shirts, a monthly subscription service where I create a Lego inspired t-shirt. That's available at bricksonthedollar.com. We have crossed our 1-year anniversary, so we have 12 unique designs, and the new one comes out June 1st. And also Bricks in the Middle, comic series for Lego fans, about Lego fans.
Countdown.
Also launching a new volume of comics June 1st.
June 1st.
So June 1st is when it's happening, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm ready whether he is or not.
Yeah, I'm just going to plow through and just go as far as I can before June 1st until I mentally collapse. But that's all right. It's all for the better good.
Yeah, he is folks, he is crippled. He's crippling himself as we speak.
I am losing my mind
Truly.
right now. I want to say, do I have the squeaky chair again? No. All right.
I know I do. Oh,
yeah, you do.
I'm gonna tear up everything back there.
So the last time we were talking about my story before we introduced.
I know we had a special guest.
We did.
Then we had the intro episode.
Yes.
Did we have something? Oh, and we missed. Then we had a live one.
Right.
And then before that, we missed that week because of Philly.
Yes.
My bad, everybody. Kevin's fault.
Nah, it's
and
not.
then before that is where we left off in the story. So you guys haven't. We have just been rambling, Kevin.
Yeah. Everyone loves a good ramble.
Are you sure?
No.
Okay.
Hopefully my memory is right, but I want to say in the story, we actually had gotten to talk a little bit about Brick Fiesta, the first show I had ever gone to.
Correct.
And I had already shared the news that I would be moving to Connecticut, but we didn't really get to Connecticut at all.
I don't think we did.
Yeah. So I'm going to start. I'm going to start getting into the Connecticut stuff.
Folks. I think everyone is waiting patiently.
Oh yeah. So again, this is the moment in my career in which I am no longer a brand retail employee. So again, those of you keeping track with the home game, keeping score on the scorecard, I was a sales associate. Yep. I was a supervisor. Yep. I was an assistant store manager. Yep. I was a store manager. Yep. I worked at the Lego stores in Lakewood, Colorado, Chandler, Arizona, Austin, Texas. Dunzo.
Dun.
Hmm? You said my name. Oh, not this Austin. Different Austin.
Austin.
You want to say hi real quick? All right, say hi real quick.
Hi. There's only one person?
Yeah, there's only one person.
We're a bunch of losers today, Austin.
One person. Tell me his name.
You know his name.
I didn't know. I forgot.
You forgot his name.
You can call me George.
That's Julian.
Julian, that almost sounds like a girl name.
I know. I hate my parents for it. I know he can't hear me. He can't hear me.
He can't hear you. Hey, get out of here. Get out of here.
Get out of here, scamp.
All right. Hey, I'm recording a very important episode for our viewers.
This is important.
And your viewers are going to be doing some Lego stuff, and you're going to be doing Lego stuff, and you're going to do Lego stuff so fast.
He's going to say something. He is going to say something
right.
that you don't want him to say.
All right. Bye-bye.
Here's me.
Bye-bye. Get out of here.
Love and push.
Don't make me get the hose.
Stop being cold, boy.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody, we're real people.
Yeah,
we are human beings. We have lovely children and families, and sometimes they don't want us to record in peace.
No.
Hey, what happened to your brother? Where'd your brother go?
He went upstairs.
He was not supposed to. All right, you go. Hey, I'll be up there in a little bit.
Do you need you need me to cover you while you go regulate?
Hey,
Sounds like somebody might be at the door.
stall.
All right,
Get the hose.
gonna get the hose. Wait. So here we go. I guess I think I probably should mute Kevin just in case something crazy happens. So let's mute Kevin. And so yeah, I had the great idea to let us start earlier today, so we wouldn't be so tired and maybe actually make it into Hoosier stream tonight. But I don't know. As we record the time, it's Saturday evening, and it's 95 degrees in the great state of Florida. How hot is it where you are right now? If you could just pause the video and put that down in the chat or in the comments below, so we can know how hot it is where you are. As you can see to my right or left, depending on it's my left. That's my left, so it's your right. I'm building the Ferris wheel. I found it on the marketplace, Facebook Marketplace it was new sealed in the box for $30. When I opened it, it was already built, had a 1/4 inch dust on it and missing the instructions. However, that didn't even slow me down. I was like, I can take that. I accept. Kevin is still not here. I'll give you an update real quick. There's Kevin's chair. No Kevin there. I know, I'm amazing. I see a shadow. There's Kevin. Kevin, I have muted you just in case there was something you needed to say that you didn't want to say on camera.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm good.
I talked about my $30 haul that I found of the never been used, no instructions included Ferris wheel.
Very good. Sorry about that. Apologies.
But don't be sorry. It's called parenthood.
It's called life.
There it is. I mean, here's what the viewers want to know is, how do you have a son that age and everything behind you is still in order?
Yeah.
That's what they want to know.
Well, so usually when I'm building or sorting or doing whatever, I will absolutely let him do what he wants to do, because I'm like, go ahead, have fun. So usually
I've actually seen it
around this like strip, like that first bin, right?
Yeah.
Like that level.
Yeah.
He'll go at it for the whole room. So he'll build, and the colors on that area are like orange, pink, purple, like some rare colors. It gets more rare the lower it goes on the thing.
Gotcha.
And he'll build these things out of like the most rare colors. I'm like, that's nice. And we're going to put that back when you're done. But he'll build whatever, and I'll come back and there's just little things around.
So, okay. I know, of course, we're going to go down a rabbit hole.
Right.
So with raising as an A-fall, A-fall, not a full, because it's A-fall.
Okay.
Yeah, it is, Kevin. I don't care what you say.
I don't know why you guys all say I say it weird. I don't say it weird. I just say it
pronounce it weird. You write it in the brick fair stuff funny. I don't give a crap. It's total. You're totally said it weird.
How can I write it weird?
You wrote out the pronunciation of it, and that's not how you pronounce it. I'm not even saying that. My college educated wife is. Anyway.
Okay, that's fine.
Even she threw her hands up. She's like, Kevin, do better. Anyway.
This was my job.
Whatever. Yeah, you worked for Lego, not A-fall.
Go on.
So the question is, Kev.
Yeah.
You like to build sets, tear them down instantly. You only have an occasional mock sitting there. You don't have any Lego anywhere but the basement, except for your oldest's room, which is not common knowledge.
Yeah.
And that's all Bionicle, which
good
for him, but whatever.
Right.
So
correct.
But the question is, and I guess you already know since you have one older son, how do you teach how do you personally make him feel good about what he's built, but then directly make him destroy it? And I'm talking about the younger of the two. The older one's probably like, I'm used to it.
Yeah. Well, so I let him build. I let him build what he wants.
Yeah, you do.
When he wants to
build. God bless you for that. You don't even give him the crappy stuff in the cardboard box in the corner like I do.
He can use whatever he wants. And then I kind of play it by ear on how long things stay together. I do the same thing with the sets. When I build a set, after I've taken my mandatory photo for social media.
Yeah, I've actually started doing that as well.
Yes, I go, it's yours. Have fun, play with it.
Yeah.
Sometimes he doesn't want to play with it at all. And if he doesn't, then it does get taken apart immediately.
Yeah.
But sometimes he likes to play with it for a while, and it may be up for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or sometimes even more. I have like a bin of the stuff I need to disassemble, and I just throw it in that bin. It's not a big, it's like a smaller shoebox bin. But I will just play it by ear and go, when does he lose interest?
Okay.
When he loses interest is when I take it apart.
All right.
Also, if he hasn't seen it for like 3 or 4 days, I'm like, it's probably done.
Yeah.
So like if he's built something like a little car and then he hasn't asked to play with it, or he hasn't like looked at it or even come downstairs for 3-4 days in a row, like he probably doesn't even remember he built it. So I just go and I'll take it apart.
What happens when he's 9 or 10 and he's like, this is the best thing I ever built, Dad. Save it forever.
Well, so my older
and
son,
it looks like garbage. No, I'm kidding.
My older son did come down here and built a very elaborate like mech thing.
Yeah.
Years ago, like 2 years ago.
Okay, where is it?
And it's been sitting.
Show it to us.
Well, so
show it to us.
Here's the
Kevin,
thing.
we'd like to see what your son did.
Here's the thing.
I'm listening.
I thought that was taken apart forever ago. And I thought he had taken it apart. But he had taken it up to his room, and it was been sitting in his room that whole time. And a month ago or whatever, when he was gone, I went over there and cleaned his went upstairs and cleaned his room because I'm like, I gotta get into this kid's room and clean it because it's a mess. And I found it was still there, and I was like, I thought this thing was taken apart a long time ago. And I told him to clean up his room, and he himself took it apart and brought it back down here. And I was like, wow, this thing was together for like 2 years.
Any pictures?
I don't think he took any. I don't think he was happy enough to take pictures of it. But
oh well, that's teenager for you.
It kind of reminded me of an AT-AT, like Star Wars AT-AT.
Never heard of them.
Yeah.
Are you talking about an AT-AT?
Yeah, that.
Oh, okay, that I know. It's because how old I am.
Remember that really old movie with those guys on that ice planet? Yeah. So I play it by ear. I try to see when do the kids not have interest is when I take it apart. But I do let them build whatever they want, whenever they want.
Nice.
So,
except for right now, he's not allowed down there.
Well, right now it's like not at this exact moment.
Okay. Well, that was a little interlude. I appreciate you taking the time to answer that.
Absolutely.
From all of us here at Forever Sorting.
We'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time. No.
Yeah. So Connecticut, right? Connecticut.
That's where you get the what is Connecticut famous for?
Well, it's the nutmeg state.
There it is. There it is. All the nutmeg, folks.
And also, it's the Constitution state.
I respect that. Now,
when I first heard that, I'm like, whoa, that's cool. Is like the Constitution written here or something?
No.
It's called the Constitution state because Connecticut was the first state to have a state constitution.
Nobody cares.
I mean, really, nobody does.
I mean, how more full of yourself could you be, Connecticut?
I'm like, that's kind of cool, but then when you find out what it really means, it's kind of lame.
Yeah, we hear the Floridian and the Texan do not care about your Constitution, Connecticut.
Not unless it's the Constitution. I'm like,
right,
yeah,
it is.
But yeah, okay. the nutmeg state, also the nutmeg state.
Nutmeg.
Let's see. Lesser known facts about Connecticut. This is where Pez is headquartered.
That part's cool. I could eat Pez all day.
So if any of you guys out there ever make it to Orange, Connecticut, Orange like the fruit, Orange, Connecticut, that is where the Pez factory and headquarters is.
How far away from that is where you're at now?
About an hour.
Okay, so Connecticut has the Lego headquarters and the Pez. Okay, well maybe they're climbing the list. All right, hold on. What about chocolate? Hershey, where's that at?
That is not in Connecticut.
No, it's in
yeah, but I have
get there from here.
I have been to Pez. I have a hold on here. I've got my Pez visitor badge.
There it is. That's the dream.
And it has the Pez lanyard.
That is also the dream.
I was taken here, I think, for Father's Day a couple years ago.
Really?
Yeah, it was a nice Father's Day gift. So went to the Pez.
That's what that was the dramatic pauses for. I was waiting for you to say, and I had a good time.
Yeah, the only thing I was sad about is that we went on the weekend,
Yeah.
and apparently, well, it shouldn't be a surprise, but the factory part where the people actually work, because it's a functional factory,
Kevin, it was closed.
was closed on the weekend.
It was closed, Kevin.
So the museum and the visitor center's open,
Yeah.
and there's a whole wall of it that's attached to the factory, so you see the whole factory,
Yeah.
but it's all like not operational. I was like, dang it.
But did you know that they started putting feet on the Pez?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the old ones don't have the feet and they're worth way more money.
Oh, Pez collector, ladies and gentlemen.
Whatever. I got a couple.
I have a few. I have a Captain America Pez. I have a Super Mario Pez.
Nice.
I
got a Star Wars pack about 10 years ago that had 8 or 10 of the main characters in it.
Yeah.
The OGs, the AT-ATs.
One of those big ones though, right? Like the big, like with 10 in a row. Yeah. So that's in Connecticut if you didn't know.
Nice.
Interesting.
What else? Got anything else in Connecticut where the darn?
Mark Twain's house is here.
Is that where he's from? Because we have what's his face down there in the Keys with the 6-toe cats. What is it? Emerson.
Yeah, I don't know if he's from here.
I wouldn't think so because I think he opened Kentucky Fried Chicken or something.
I think he was a South guy, but his house is here, and apparently it's the house where he wrote a lot of his books and stuff.
Good for him.
I don't know if this was like a summer thing, like, oh, it's my summer home up in Connecticut. But he does have a house here. It's a big thing. It's the Mark Twain house. But
have you ever been to Tupelo, Mississippi and seen Elvis's birthplace? I don't think so. I have.
But here's the funny thing about all this, to circle back to the story, is when I was moving or in the process of moving to Connecticut, I was talking to some of my colleagues from Lego Brand Retail that live in Connecticut. And
Wait a minute. Is there a Lego store in Connecticut?
Yeah. There's two. There wasn't when I moved here.
Oh.
Back in 2011, there was not. But now there's two.
You've lived there 8 years. I'm sorry.
It's been a long time, man.
Yeah.
A long time.
When's the last time you were in Texas?
3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Your heart. Oh,
I know. It's always like if I could, I'd be there like every year. But it's just when you got a family, man. You know,
the older you get, the harder it becomes.
It's not one ticket; it's 4 tickets. It's not one hotel room with 2 beds. It's 2 hotel rooms with 2 beds. It's like it just turns into a thing.
Oh, you preaching to the choir? I've been back to Illinois once since I moved.
Yeah, it's definitely not out of a. I'm not trying to avoid it.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So I was asking people that were from Connecticut, hey, I'm moving to Connecticut. It's kind of interesting, exciting. What do you recommend? What are things I'm supposed to do? Like, what am I supposed to learn? And the first thing that everyone told me was like, oh, that's awesome. You're super close to New York City. You can get on a train and you can go. I'm like, hey, that does sound pretty cool. So what's in Connecticut though?
Right. I didn't want to go down the street.
And so then they go, oh, you're also just about 2.5 hours away from Boston. And that's where you got like the Red Sox and you got like, I'm like, okay, great. So what's in Connecticut? And the last one before I snapped was, well, Providence, Rhode Island's right next door.
Providence.
And I'm like, okay, so there's nothing to do here, is what you're telling me.
Hey, I have to. This just in. The most important thing about Connecticut is the Gilmore Girls.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is. Thank you, wife.
There, everybody confirmed. Fact check.
Solid.
It's done. So
yeah,
that was one of those early indicators that I'm like, oh boy, I'm in for a fun ride. Now that being said, in my time living here, I've been to New York lots of times.
Sure.
I do love how close it is. I think it's great.
Yeah.
How close is it? So it takes me from the moment I leave my house to the moment I walk out of Grand Central Station in downtown New York City.
Yeah.
It's 3 hours. It's a 3-hour thing.
It's a 3-hour tour.
It's a 3-hour tour. What I usually do, everyone does it a different way. I will drive from my house to New Haven. New Haven is on the shore. Sure. I'll go straight down to New Haven. That's about an hour and a half. I'll get on a train at the train station, and then the train station takes me straight into Grand Central.
Nice.
And so that's an hour and a half on the train.
Okay.
But it's great. I mean, there's nothing better than getting into Grand Central, coming out, and you're surrounded by the biggest skyscrapers in the country.
Sure.
Like, it's just like, whoa, I'm in the middle of the city. Like, it's just like,
Yeah, I mean, it's probably not as good as Chicago, but it'll do.
But it's also just different. Like, when you go up to a city, like, you're seeing it on the horizon,
And you know what's coming.
and you're acclimating to it, and you're processing it as it gets closer and closer. But just the way the train works is it gets to a certain point, like Bronx-ish area, and then you go underground and you see nothing until you get there. So you're just like underground for the last like 15, 20, minutes of the train ride.
Oh, yeah.
And then you come out and it's like Kanye West starts singing to you. It's like New York. And it's just like, what's happening?
Man, I need to get to your house before you move.
That would be nice.
Just so you could take me into New York via the trains.
I would love to. That's something I usually, when people visit, I'm like, we got to go to New York. Again, look, here we are 8 years later.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do I do here? I leave and I go somewhere else. So, hey.
Well, don't you have like one singular pizza place in town? Or you told me, you said you got pizza and it took you 2 hours to get here to something?
Yeah, it's like down the road. That's it.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's not bad, but it's
it's not a chain.
Not a chain, and I'm used to chains.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
No, whatever.
Oh, what I need to do before I move is there
they are.
There is a burger place. I don't remember the name. There's a burger place somewhere down there, like in the bottom of the state near New York.
Yeah.
Which is, according to the Food Network, the first restaurant to ever serve a burger in the country. So apparently some immigrant got off at Ellis Island.
And that's Connecticut you're talking about?
This is Connecticut. And set up a shop and served the first burgers, and they were steamed. Steamed hams. And they still steam them today. And I'm like, I gotta have like the country's first burger. Like I gotta do that.
That makes
So I haven't done that yet.
Kevin, I could eat.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. So
the stress of moving, and there's nothing to do for fun.
Yeah, it's kind of lame. But so there was a month. I told you guys that I had a month between when my lease ended and when I was going to move, but I had accepted the job.
Right.
And so Brick Fiesta was a weekend, right? It's done. There's a weekend. It's out of, all right, cool. But now I had 3 more weeks where I'm technically a community coordinator for Lego. That's my job.
Right.
I'm not at the store anymore. I'm not a store manager. Yes, I'm packing, but it's like when I don't have to leave anywhere and I have all day to pack, it's not as stressful.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah. And you've got 3 weeks to do it. So I was packing stuff, but I did have a project. I was given homework. And I have to give him credit. It was an amazing move on his part.
Him who?
Him meaning Jim.
Oh, Jim who?
So Jim Folds, he's been mentioned several times in this program.
You got a name drop every time.
Every time.
That name. I met him. He's a wonderful person in real life.
Yeah, and he was my hiring manager. He hired me.
He was Kevin's mentor.
He was my mentor for sure.
A hero.
Inspiration for sure.
Possible love interest. No.
Too far. Reel it back.
Reel it back in. Sorry, folks.
And so he had given me a homework assignment. So he actually at the same time was pretty busy. Like he was going to Denmark and doing some meetings there. He was also at the time living in Colorado still.
Yeah. Who's his boss? Who was his boss at the time?
A man by the name of Tormod Askelston.
Yeah. What's he up to now?
Tormod's still there. Tormod is in charge of the
We're talking about something that was like 10 years ago. Why is he in the same position? Why hasn't he moved up?
Yeah, Tormod has been with Lego for 30 years.
Okay.
Yep. And he's been in that same role for probably 15 of those 30.
Really?
Yeah.
So he found what he liked, huh?
I guess so.
Wow. He knows all the hay falls then, right?
Well, so
Are we talking about? We're talking about Jim, aren't we? Look
We
at
are.
me.
We
Look
are.
at me trying to go down a rabbit hole on purpose.
Right.
Because
Um,
Tormund will never watch this.
Yeah, probably not. But I'll see him at Brickworld Chicago. So if you are watching this, see you there, Tormund. He gave me an assignment to work on while I was at home for 3 weeks, and basically getting paid by Lego to pack my house. That's basically what I was doing.
Right? Okay.
Um,
There are worse situations to have.
There are far worse situations. And also, it should be noted that at this time in my community career, no one knows who the heck I am. So
Scared.
I'm not getting any emails. It's like I'm not really doing anything.
Yeah.
Man, I miss those days. But the homework assignment. So Jim says to me, I'm going to give you something to work on while you're at home and packing and getting ready to move to Connecticut.
Mhm.
We don't have a record of all of the Lego user groups in the United States.
Oh, snap.
And I was like, that seems like a piece of critical information. So he goes, your job is to make us a functional database of every Lego user group in the United States of America.
Did you slap him right then? Because I know this was 10 years ago. No.
This was 2011.
Right. There wasn't as many as there are now, but come on.
Right. And so, I mean, what do I know? Right. I'm like, okay, all right, okay. And so I spent a lot of my time, and I was fully in, right? This is my new job. I'm in.
Yeah.
Time to impress the boss. Let's get in and bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. And so I sank a lot of time into internet research.
Shame on you.
And emails.
Oh.
And Yahoo forums.
Oh boy.
Lugnet.
No, I'm just laughing at you.
Eurobricks.com.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, I started from scratch. I was like, okay, I know that there's a group called Cowlug. I know there's a group called Cactus Brick.
Check.
I know there's a group called Texlug.
Check.
Now, what else is there?
A quadrillion.
So I was Google searching, like, I am a Lego fan. Is there a club in my state? I was finding forums. I was branching off from forums to other forums. Anytime I found a name, it was like, hey, I'm so-and-so. I'm starting a club in Kansas. I would email them and say, hi, my name is Kevin. I'm the new Lego community coordinator on behalf of the Lego group. I am in the process of establishing a database of all Lego user groups in the country, and I found your information online. Like, very professional, very courteous, and like, could I please talk to you? Could I please ask you some questions? Yeah. I think I sent like 400 emails my first 2 weeks.
Hey, Kevin.
Yes.
Real quick. Were they not giving out lug bulk at the time? And shouldn't the lug bulk people have known the list?
So you're getting ahead of me. You're getting ahead of me.
Oh, I'll shut up.
Continue. You're getting ahead of me.
My bad.
To answer your question, yes, lug bulk was in operation. Okay. So
what about the other part of my question?
Shouldn't they have a list to know who's on lug bulk?
Correct.
Right. Yeah. So I sent so many emails because every time I saw a name, I said, let me ask this guy if he knows about this club.
Yeah.
And a lot of them bounced back. A lot of those emails were dead emails. And so then I get a response back. But I mean, I was in the bowels of Lugnet. Like I was in I would go into a thread that was started like 5 years prior, 10 years prior.
Jeez, man.
And I'm like, but I did it.
Yeah.
I put together what I thought was the most comprehensive list of Lego user groups, active Lego. No, I didn't even stop at active. I actually, because I was getting confused at what was active and what was not active. So I listed every Lego user group I could find. Yeah. And if I found a date or the last known post,
yeah,
I would go in the database and say, activity ceased on this date. And so like trying to track when clubs would die.
Wait, clubs die?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah. So
that's for another episode, huh?
Yeah. So I did that and I was pretty proud of it. I said, I think this is as accurate as I can get. And this was just countless. I did talk to some people. Some people replied and they would give me very helpful information. Like, oh, it's great to hear from you. Like, Lego hasn't talked to us in like 4 years.
Jim.
I got a lot of those. I got
Jim.
a lot of those replies.
Now, was that Jim's fault or Jim's boss's fault?
That would have been Steve's fault. Who was Jim
Wait,
was
Steve the Quattro thing that you built?
No, not Steven. Not Steven. No, Steve Witt was the community guy before I was.
Oh,
and so Jim was a community like senior manager. He was in charge of the team. Steve was the person who was more like the level down, who was in charge of the region. And Steve had been let go, and so there was nobody there for like a year. So Jim was makeshift replacement, but it was not his job.
Gotcha.
So like he wasn't putting the same attention on it because that's not what he normally does. So technically it would be Steve's fault. But
okay.
So I got a lot of really good information from the people that actually replied to me. And those usually helped open up 5 more questions. Like it really was like the Da Vinci Code. I was like, where are all the Lego user groups? When did they start? What were their names? Also, tracking the lugs that changed their names.
Oh God, that's annoying.
Like clubs that started off as a Lego train club, and then they switched to a Lego user group. Because that's a thing. In the beginning, there was LTCs and LUGs. Lego Train Club, Lego User Group. And there were 2 different clubs or 2 different focus areas of clubs. And then a lot of times over the years, one would change to the other. So they'd be like, yeah, we have more train people, so let's rename our club to LTC.
Yeah, that's
so trying to keep track of all that stuff on the internet was a pain. A lot of defunct clubs. So I remember back then, a couple of the ones I remember, the Oklahoma Lego User Group was dead. There is one now today. Yeah. But when I looked, there was one, and everybody I spoke to was like, "No, this club doesn't exist anymore." So that was one. I was like, okay. So there was a lot of states that didn't have any.
As it stands right now, there is no chatter from either one that are in Florida.
Yeah.
And now Brick Jams, shout out to Brick Jams.
Brick Jams
starting the Deep South Lug. He's the ambassador and one of the founders.
Deep South Lug has an Instagram account.
It also has a website.
Does it?
It's not up, but it's there. We own it. He owns it. Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to give people something they could go to.
Oh yeah, definitely go to the Deep South Log Instagram group. There will not be a link in the description below.
Hey, folks, that's who he is.
That's who I am. Jamie, if you're watching this video, and he did comment, we had a bunch of all the shows, by the way.
We had a what?
A bunch of hashtag all the shows.
Oh, nice. All the shows. I love it.
A lot of some people did that. Sorry.
I love
interjecting there. Now, Jamie, if you're listening, go ahead and slap the link into your comment and I'll pin the comment.
Done.
Or
Done.
Anybody else who gets there faster.
Dunzo.
And Kevin will send you a signed poly bag.
I'll need to buy one.
There you go.
Yeah. So okay, so let me
first one.
Let me
send the signed poly bag too.
Yes.
Just one.
So there's more parts of the story I want to talk about, but let me skip ahead for this homework assignment. So as Julian was mentioning, well, surely there has to be a right.
Definitely has to be a list.
So there was. So there was a list. Jim did lie to me. He lied to me on purpose.
That's not how you start a relationship, Jim.
Well,
come on, Jim.
He lied to me on purpose and had told me that there was no database.
Do I need to recant how I feel?
No.
Oh,
and so when I eventually did move to Connecticut and was fully in the job, and then he moved to Connecticut, it was still a couple weeks before he got there. So I was like on my own.
No.
One of the first things I had to do was present my findings to Jim. That was the thing, is like, show me what you did.
Tell me what you're working with, son.
And it was classic office style, booked a meeting room, used the projector. And I was like, here are all the lugs I found. And I shared my information in the database.
Did you have a pie chart or did you have a marker?
No, I didn't have I did have them on a map.
That's what I'm talking about.
I did have them on a map.
Can we see the map, please?
I don't have it anymore. I might. If I go digging, I might.
We really want to see the map. Kevin will sign the map and send it. No, I'm kidding.
No, actually, in all honesty, I'm hoping to find some of that information because it's part of my keynote for Brick World.
Have you got that thing written yet?
No, I haven't started. But
okay, cool.
So he had informed me that that was not factual, that there was indeed a database, but he was interested in what I could find because the old database was not his. It was the database Steve gave him when he left. And he didn't have a lot of confidence in that list. And so he's like, I don't think this is accurate. I don't think it's right. Lug Bulk was in operation, but back then the team was the community team was very divided in US versus Europe. There was not very good communication between the two. Did
they both speak the same language?
Well,
there it is.
That's another thing. But so, yeah, there was probably a list going on, but I don't even think they would share it with the team at the time. So it was just Denmark has one list and US has another list.
Good job, Lego. That's how you grow.
What was amazing is I showed it off to him, and I want to say the final number I came up was that there was 79 active Lego user groups in the United States.
Okay, that's well, one per state plus.
Yeah, and I felt fairly confident with it.
Yeah,
and he was so again. I know nothing. I have no frame of reference. I'm like, this is what I have presented to you, sir. And he was like, wow, that's impressive. He was happy with all the work. He explained to me it was all a lie and that they didn't have a list. The list that Steve gave him showed that there was 40.
Wow.
And so he was like, so you have literally doubled just with you doing your work and researching.
Yeah.
You have doubled what we know.
Huh.
And you have just started.
Well, welcome aboard. Good job, Kevin.
And I felt proud. I was like, at first I was like, oh wait, there was a list. Oh, but I did good. Okay. So
I mean, thanks, Dad. I mean, what?
Exactly. And what's even cooler is that list. Microsoft Excel. It was an Excel database, is what it was. But I made it look nice. I do have an art degree, so I made it look nice. I made it, comprehensible and all that. That list was used by me and the team all the way up until I left. That same list, like the list evolved year over year. It got updated year over year.
Good.
Eventually, it included other countries. Eventually, it included the world.
Oh, wow.
Eventually, it got kind of adapted for all kinds of stuff. But it was my list all the way up until the very end, which is kind of cool. It's cool that you can contribute something like that.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
So for the rest of the time, outside of me working on that project, it was just packing. It was a little bittersweet because here I am. I moved my family back home to move them away again. That is a weird emotional roller coaster.
I can't imagine, because you guys are born bred, love, God bless Texas type of folk, ain't you?
Yeah, I mean it's home. Everything seems to make sense there.
It is what makes Kevin not Lego.
Yeah. So I mean, there was a lot of saying goodbye to people in those few weeks. Family again. Bless my wife, who's super supportive and was like, "This is what you want to do. We're doing it."
Yep.
She left her job again. At the time, I think when we were there, that was when she was working in a surgical center. She did the cleanup after surgeries in a surgical center. Yeah, I was like, that's gross. That's gross. I mean, she doesn't care about it. That stuff doesn't faze her at all. But she would tell me the stories, and I'm like, I don't want to know what you picked up today. That's not
a whole kidney fell on the floor.
I'm all right. I'm okay. But so she left her job again, packed up our life again, and we moved, and we did it again the same way. I rented a U-Haul. This time I rented the largest U-Haul rents you, which I think was like a 40-something foot truck.
It's a big boy.
It's a big one. And we also got the full tow so that we could get our 1998 Honda Civic and put it on the tow behind the behind the truck.
Nice.
Our new place that we found was all via the internet.
So you're in Connecticut now.
I'm in Connecticut now.
New place you found.
No.
No.
Yeah, we found an apartment in Manchester, Connecticut.
Is that where the soccer team, Manchester United, is?
Yeah, exactly. Like when I Google like show me places in Manchester, it always defaults to the United Kingdom. I'm like, why do you do this?
Always. They got soccer and whatnot.
Why do you do this?
Because no one's ever heard of Manchester, America.
Yeah, I know. Manchester is about 40 minutes south of Enfield.
Okay, wow.
So it takes me 30 minutes today to get to Manchester.
Okay.
And Manchester is a really nice town. It's bigger than here for sure. It's bigger than the town I live in right now for sure. And at the time, it was again total culture shock for us when we moved from Austin to Manchester. We were like, "What is this town?" And then when we moved from Manchester to where I live now in Broadbrook, Connecticut, I'm like, I miss Manchester. I'm like, what have we done? But so we did all of that through the internet. We just did like research online on places to live, and we did it via phone, via email. We never, I didn't have the, see, the thing is that people kept saying like, oh, you can fly and check out places and we'll reimburse you. I'm like, you don't get it. I don't have the money now to pay for it for you to reimburse me.
Yeah.
Like that,
it's called real life, folks.
It's like, it's great. It's as an offer, but like, if you gave me the money ahead of time and I bought the ticket, that's different. Yeah. But so, I mean, the offer was on the table. Like, if you want to fly over to Connecticut and check out new places to live, we can help reimburse you. I'm like, no, I can't afford to do it in the first place. So it's fine. So we did it all through the internet. It was okay. It worked out. Rented that U-Haul. Here's another funny story. Regardless of where, I mean, I've lived in Denver, I lived in Phoenix, I lived in Austin. I have never in my days had to be in like major areas like New York City, Jersey City, like those East Coast up in the like those are major areas,
metropolises,
like the true sense of the word.
Mm-hmm.
And I was driving my U-Haul with our car, and that was a 36-hour drive.
It sucked.
And it sucked, but I was totally ill prepared for when I hit like Jersey. I was like terrified. I have never been around so much traffic in my life.
Yeah.
I'm used to it now.
Yeah.
But like I was like, there are so many cars in the road, and we hit Jersey City 5 o'clock traffic.
There you go.
Wasn't planned that way. It's just how it was.
Yeah.
And I was white knuckling it. I was like, I'm having this 40-foot truck in the middle of like metropolis traffic jam.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, my wife was stressing, I was stressing, and we didn't have GPS.
No,
like we were using a map.
What's a map?
We had the old fold-out map, and so I didn't even have. I don't think I had a BlackBerry phone. That's what I had.
Nice,
but we didn't have GPS on it.
I had a BlackBerry in 11.
Yeah. That's all the cool kids did.
Yeah, they did.
So I had a map, and then, I mean, we've been following it fine because everything, like, to the left of the Mississippi is fine on a map. And then when I flipped, I'm like, I'm lost. Like, where do we go? And I look at the map, and this whole like New Jersey, New York area is so condensed and so jumbled on the map that there's like 2 more maps that just get closer and closer. You know what I'm talking about? Those of you that read maps, you know what I'm talking about.
The inside map of the inside map.
Yeah. I was like, what am I looking at? Like, I was so ill prepared for this. And I didn't look ahead because why? Right? I'm going to conquer the world. And I was like, it'll be fine. It's always fine.
Let's see. How old were you? 8 years ago? You were young buck. You were still in your 20s.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. You can't tell a 20-something-year-old nothing.
Yeah. No, I was like, like I pulled over at one point because I was like, I don't know what to do. I just pulled over and like tried to let traffic die down for a little while. And pulling over like into a lot. I was like, I don't know where I am. I somehow almost got into the Lincoln Tunnel.
No.
And a police officer pulled me over. and said, "Sir, where do you think you're going?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't know where I'm going." And like he could tell I was very distressed. I was like, "I'm sorry. I'm trying to get to Connecticut. I got swept up into this traffic jam." And
he said you can't get there from here.
he's like, you can't take that in the Lincoln Tunnel. And so I was mortified. Like he stopped all 5 lanes of traffic
No.
so that I could U-turn the U-Haul truck.
No.
And he looked so irritated at me,
I'm
as well as the 100 New Yorkers looking at me. I was like,
home tonight.
I'm sorry. He wouldn't really give me any help getting in. He just said, "You need to turn around and get out of here because you can't take trucks don't go on the Lincoln Tunnel." And so I U-turned it, and then I went and I think I parked outside of like a fruit canning company or something in Jersey. Like it was just some random like industrial park.
Yeah.
And I parked and I called my sister and I was like, "Can you like GPS on your computer or something? Like, how do I get to?" I'm so lost, and my map can't help me because it's so confusing now. Because every road is like on top of each other, and it's like I can't make it out what's happening. And so she using her computer at home GPS me some directions.
Wow.
And she texted it to me like, "Take this to this and this." And so I did that. I did still end up getting a little lost.
Sure.
And I went and filled gas somewhere in New York at that point. And a guy, I was trying to ask the gas station guy how to get to Connecticut. He was not having it either. Like immediately I got there and everyone was rude to me, like everybody. And he was like, he like spout out directions at me really aggressively and loudly and quickly. And I couldn't make out what he said. I was like, "I'm sorry, I didn't get it." And he said it one more time and he didn't change it at all. Like he said it the same way. And I'm like, "I'm sorry, I'm trying to listen." And then he like flew his hand up at me and walked away. And I was like, "Okay, well, all right."
Welcome to the New England.
Yeah, welcome to New England. And so a guy in the other pump, he was like, "I'm sorry, I heard you. Are you trying to get to Connecticut? Because that's where I'm going." I was like, "Yes, please." And he's like, "Just follow me." And so like,
and then he followed him, and then he ended up down a dark dirt road and to a cabin, and cabin was never heard of.
And he never saw me again. Yeah, he was helpful. I followed him. We got to Fairfield, Connecticut.
Okay, I've heard.
Yeah, that's like coast. Again, it's on the coast. It's on the bottom. And when we got in there, this was like that's probably like 8 o'clock at night now. Like it's dark. Traffic has died down finally, but it's still kind of busy. Like it's metropolis area.
Yeah.
And I said, all of my mental energy is gone. Like I have to stop. We have to stop. And so even though we were like, in retrospect, it was stupid because we were like an hour away from our new home.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that. I didn't like look ahead going, how far away do we have to go? I just said, we are in the state of Connecticut.
We're done.
Let's stop. And again, my whole life, I'm so used to states take hours and hours and hours to get through.
Sure.
So I'd be like, let's stop when we get out of Texas, or let's stop when we get into New Mexico. I'm not used to Connecticut being this big. So it's like, oh, like there's no reason to stop overnight in Connecticut. It's like,
never.
It takes you from one tip to the other tip of Connecticut is maybe 3 hours total.
Wow.
Like if you go from the little phalange all the way up.
Phalange.
You guys know what I'm talking about. Connecticut's a square and it's got the little thing down
there.
But if you go from like the very end all the way to the top upper corner, it's like 3 hours maybe.
That's crazy.
But we stopped in a hotel in Fairfield, which was also kind of interesting because it was early enough in the night that not a lot of people have checked into a hotel, you know? So we just found a hotel and I parked the giant U-Haul truck across 12 parking spaces or whatever. And the parking lot's not big. Like this is the area of the country where everything is compacted.
Yeah.
Like there's not a lot of wiggle room. And when we woke up in the morning, I went outside and I'm like, how am I going to get my car out of here? Because like every space had a car in it.
Nuts.
And like both sides. And I'm like, I have no room to get this truck out of here.
He did an 85-point turnabout.
I did like Austin Powers where you're like, you just keep moving back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. was like, I'm gonna get out of here somehow. We got out.
Good
Spoiler
deal.
alert: we made it. We made it to Connecticut. We went to our apartment. It was a very, very lovely apartment. We lived in that apartment for about 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah, the only reason we didn't stay there, well, there's a couple reasons. The rent kept going up.
That's everywhere, brother.
It's just like, again, I wasn't used to that. Like every other place I've lived in, I would get in and we've always rented. I've never owned anything.
Yeah.
So I've always rented. And every place we've gone to before, like if you renew your lease, the rent stays the same. Like I'm used to that.
Yeah.
And I get here and renewed my lease, rent went up the next year. Renewed it again, rent went up again the next year.
Yep.
And when I got into year 3, it was gonna go up again. And I was like, why does it go up every year? Like, I don't understand. Yep. And so the rent was gonna go up again for the 3rd time. And I know now we're skipping ahead like years ahead, but
Yeah.
Also the 40-minute commute from Manchester to Enfield was fine, but getting old.
Yeah.
And I did that for 3 years. I would drive 40 minutes in the morning, 40 minutes in the evening. And that's basically
that already makes your 8-hour day 10.
Yeah. What I normally did in those days was in the morning, I would just listen to stuff on the radio. But in the afternoon, I would call friends because all my friends were somewhere else. My friends were in Colorado or Arizona or Texas.
They were not in Colorado.
They were not in Connecticut. So I would,
my bad.
So I would just call friends and talk to them while I was driving home, catch up with what they were doing. Made it there, settled in. We were in a 2-bedroom apartment in Manchester. Yeah, 2 bedrooms. We had a bedroom and my son had a bedroom. That was it.
That's all you needed.
That's all we needed. All my Lego was in the living room.
What?
It was pushed in the corner. I have photos. I'll find them. They're like my
in the corner.
My bins in the corner. And yep. But in our story, now I'm there. I'm physically in Connecticut now. I've done my homework assignment. I have established the first real database of Lego user groups in the United States. And this was just the United States when I did this. Then I started expanding to Canada and all that other stuff.
And all that jazz.
And yeah, I think that's enough for today.
I think it's more than enough. I've been trying to get you to cut for 10 minutes.
I'm sorry. And I also regaled you guys with my horror stories of driving a U-Haul through New York City.
Actually, the second time I've heard that story, and I was glad you told it.
Did I say it on? I haven't said it on.
No. Well, maybe on live,
like
YouTube,
a stream,
but not here.
Not in this program.
And that is why this program was created, Kevin.
Yeah.
So we could get those nuggets of truth in one condensed focus on Kevin situation.
Get the
nuggets. Gotta have the nuggets.
Gotta have the nuggets, everybody.
There it is.
Gotta love those nuggets.
Hashtag all the nuggets.
All the nuggets.
Made it this far, hashtag all the nuggets.
There it is. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Absolutely. That's Kevin.
That's Julian over there. That's pretty good.
From all of us here at Forever Sorting. Remember,
gotta sort those bricks.
bye everybody.